Hi everyone. So now today's topic is Dalton's law of partial pressure. In the previous video we had seen the Graham's law of diffusion and what is meant by Graham's law of effusion. Also we had seen applications, related problems and different formulas we had seen. Now in this today's class, that is Dalton's law of partial pressure. So what is meant by Dalton's law? So what is meant by partial pressure, for which type of gases this Dalton's law is applicable, and related problems also we are going to see. So don't waste the time, let's get into the video of Dalton's law of partial pressure. Now you see here Dalton's law of partial pressure. Dalton's law is okay. So what about partial pressure? What is meant by partial pressure? Now say for example this is a container. This container contains the different gases such as oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur dioxide or carbon dioxide, like that. These are different gases are present. So different gases will have the different pressures. Different gases will have the different pressures. The pressure accepted by the individual gases are said to be partial pressure. What is meant by partial pressure here? Partial pressure is nothing but the pressure accepted by the individual gases. That is PO2 is nothing but what it is, a partial pressure of oxygen gas. Partial pressure of oxygen gas. What is meant by PN2 here? It is a partial pressure of nitrogen gas. So what is meant by PCO2 here? It is a partial pressure of carbon dioxide gas. Have you understood what is meant by partial pressure? When we will use that term, so it is an gas. Whatever the gases which you are taking in a container, that individual containers will have the individual gases will have the individual pressures. The pressure which is created by the individual gases are said to be partial pressures. Okay. So now we will see what is Dalton's law. What is Dalton's law? We will see. So according to this Dalton's law, at constant temperature. So if you are taking the different gases here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are different types of gases are there in that container. At constant temperature, the total pressure of the gas is equal to sum of the partial pressures. Okay, now that is what we are calling Dalton's law of partial pressure. At constant temperature, the total pressure of the gases container pressure, total pressure of the container must be equal to sum of the partial pressures. And here, main thing we need to remember here, Dalton's law of partial pressure is applicable for the gases which not react with each other. For those gases only the Dalton's law is applicable. Now you see here, these are the some gases which are non-reactive. Okay, now, so it is applicable for the non-reacting gases only. So for reacting gases, Dalton's law is not applicable, because whenever the gases are reacted, they combine, so the number of moles in the container decreases. Okay, now the number of moles are decreased means pressure created by those gases will be decreases. So for that reason, for reacting gases it won't applicable. Only for the non-reacting gases only it is applicable. That is, the total pressure must be equal to sum of partial pressure. Now what are the non-reacting gases you can take? Helium and hydrogen gas. Whatever the inert gases will not react with any other gases. Okay, so inert gases with mixture with another gas, that is helium and hydrogen, helium and nitrogen, those all will comes under non-reacting gases. Hydrogen and nitrogen, at normal condition they won't require, they require the what specified conditions. We have to maintain 200 to 300, that is Haber's process we had seen. And here nitrogen and oxygen, at normal condition they won't react. Oxygen and carbon dioxide, in nature we have that mixture of oxygen and carbon dioxide is what? It is a non-reacting gases. Hydrogen and oxygen, they also won't react simultaneously. These all will be examples of non-reacting gases. For these non-reacting gases only Dalton's law is applicable. For which gas Dalton's law is not applicable? The gases in which reacting gases are there. Okay, now in the mixture, in the container, if we have the reacting gases, for these reacting gases, the Dalton's law of partial pressure is not applicable. So say for example, ammonia and HCl when they reacted, in the previous video we had seen, that is ammonium chloride, white colored fumes we are going to get. Similarly, hydrogen sulfide react with ammonia, then ammonium sulfide we are going to get. Carbon monoxide react with oxygen, we are going to get the carbon dioxide. Hydrogen and fluorine react to form the hydrogen fluoride. Even without any heating also these two reactions takes place. In the same way, hydrogen and fluorine just in presence of sunlight without any external factor, just if it is sunlight is there, both will combine and they are going to form the HCl. Now you see here the number of particles will be decreases. Number of moles of gases are decreased in the container by reacting, then pressure will be decreased. Okay, here you take, these are the 2 moles are there, but it forms the what, 1 mole of component only. The number of moles are decreased means pressure created by those gas will be decreases. So for that reason, for reacting gases, Dalton's law of partial pressure is not applicable. For only for non-reacting gases only Dalton's law of partial pressure is applicable. You take the oxygen and nitric oxide. So by combining these two, we are going to get the nitrogen dioxide. When chlorine and carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide are react, then what happens? We are going to get phosgene gas, most poisonous gas, phosgene gas COCl2. Ammonia and HF, when they are reacted, ammonium fluoride we are going to get. These all will be what, reacting gases. Like that, whatever the example, not only these. So the gases which react with each other, in those cases, the Dalton's law is not applicable. Is that clear? I hope so. You have understood in which case Dalton's law is applicable. That is, the gases must be non-reacting. So in that case only the total pressure of the gases container must be equal to sum of the partial pressures which are present in the container at constant temperature. Okay, now. So now from ideal gas equation, we know that what is ideal gas? PV is equal to NTR. So whatever the way you can remember, nRT or NTR. So from this I want the pressure. Pressure is equal to N into T into R by V. So the volume of the container is fixed one. All the gases are present in one volume only. So the volume is fixed one. There is a variation is what? First gas if you are taking, its pressure will be P1 and number of moles will be T1. Temperature is constant, R is constant, and volume, it is a closed container, it is V is also constant. For first gas it is. For second gas it will be N2 into T into R by V. That is at constant temperature only we are defining the Dalton's law. So like that, so on we are going to get, so on. So if you know the total pressure PT is equal to the total number of moles will be NT into T into R by V. So here total number of moles is nothing but N1 plus N2 plus A, so on, N3 plus so on, like that. So that is total number of moles. Just you take simply this is 1 and this is 2. So you do the 1 by 2. What do you do? 1 by 2. That is P1 by PT is equal to N1 by NT. Is it or not? T into R by V, both will be get cancelled. Then what is left over? N1 by NT is left over. N1 by NT is nothing but N1 plus N2 plus so on. So which is nothing but mole fraction of first gas. Mole fraction of first gas. X1 is nothing, X is nothing but capital X is nothing but mole fraction. So it is a mole fraction of first gas. Mole fraction of first gas it is. Now you are going to get the water P1 by PT is equal to mole fraction of first gas it is. So from that P1 is equal to mole fraction of first gas into total pressure. So how we can define the partial pressure? At constant temperature, the partial pressure is equal to mole fraction of that gas into total pressure. When you are multiplying the mole fraction into total pressure, then you are going to get the partial pressure. Is that clear? So that is very important formula. Okay now. So from that, you know that total pressure must be equal to sum of the partial pressure you are going to get. If you know the total pressure and mole fraction of gas, then you can easily calculate the partial pressure of the individual gases also for non-reacting gases. Now here we got the new term, that is mole fraction. What is meant by mole fraction? It is a fraction between the number of moles. Mole fraction, which is represented with capital X. So what is mean by mole fraction here? It is the ratio between number of moles. Say for example, I am the gas and one more gas is there. What is my fraction? 1 by 2. Because mine will be in the room, we are only 2 members. What is my fraction? 1 by 2. So what is his fraction? 1 by 2. So sum of the fraction always will be 1. That is, here mole fraction of first gas will be N1 by N1 plus N2 plus so on. For second gas it will be N2 by N1 plus N2 plus so on. So that is sum of the mole fraction is always is equal to 1. So whatever the number of fractions it will be. If it is 100 fraction also, the sum of the 100 fractions or millions fractions also, always it is 1. That is sum of the mole fraction will be 1. So how we can define the mole fraction here? Mole fraction is defined as it is the ratio between number of moles of one component to the total number of moles. If I want to calculate mole fraction of first gas, number of moles of first gas by total number of moles we have to do. Then we are going to get the mole fraction. Okay, is that clear? Mole fraction. Now we have one more term is there. So that is aqueous tension. So this is somewhat important one. So related to this problem also I am going to explain. So what is mean by aqueous tension? Aqueous tension is nothing but how that aqueous tension is created in the pressure. So now we are going to see. Say for example, if you are measuring the pressure at the surface of the water. Okay, whenever that water is, you are collecting the gas from the surface of the water. Then what happens? Water will vaporizes at whatever the temperature it may be. Okay, na? So evaporation of water takes place at any temperature. We know that. Okay, because the boiling takes place at particular temperature, but rate of evaporation takes place at any temperature. So whenever the gas is collected over the surface of the water, then what happens? Along with that gas, some quantity of water vapor is also collected. So then what happens? The pressure of the moist gas will be, pressure of the moist gas is equal to pressure of dry gas, and here whatever the gas pressure which is created by the water vapor, that pressure is said to be aqueous tension. That pressure is said to be aqueous tension. So which is represented with a small f. Okay, so from this I want to calculate pressure of dry gas. That pressure of dry gas is equal to pressure of moist gas. Pressure of moist gas minus aqueous tension. So by using this formula we can calculate the water aqueous tension. Okay, if you know the total gas, moist gas pressure, then from that aqueous tension if it is removed, we are going to get the pressure of dry gas. That is what Dalton's law of partial pressure. Once again I am going to define what is Dalton's law of partial pressure. At constant temperature, the sum of the partial pressures must be equal to total pressure at constant temperature. Dalton's law is applicable only for non-reacting gases only. Let's get into the problems of Dalton's law. In the first question, a vessel contains a mixture of equal masses of helium and oxygen gas at a pressure of 60 torr. Calculate the partial pressure of components in the mixture. What they are saying? It is one container is there. In that container we have the water, helium and oxygen gas. Helium and oxygen gas. These are non-reacting gases or reacting gases? Non-reacting. That we need to check first before going to the doing of problem. So in the fourth option means whenever they are giving the options, it is not possible to predict. Okay, it is not possible to calculate partial pressure when they are given reacting gases. That you need to identify. So we have the water, they are asking to calculate the partial pressure of helium is how much, as well as partial pressure of oxygen is how much. So how you are going to get partial pressure of helium? It must be equal to mole fraction of helium into total pressure. Okay na? So first we need to get this one. So here we need the water total pressure. Are they given total pressure? So pressure of 60 torr, that is total pressure is how much they given? 60 torr. So total pressure we have. Then what about mole fraction? If you want to get the mole fraction means we should know the number of moles. Now what they are saying, a vessel contains a mixture of equal masses of helium and oxygen. Mass of helium, weight of helium is equal to weight of oxygen must be equal to 1. means both are same. The number of moles of helium will be what happens? Weight of helium by gram molecular weight of helium. Gram molecular weight of helium gas, that is 1 by 4. Number of moles of helium is 1 by 4. Number of moles of oxygen will be 1 by 32. So total number of moles will be what happens? Total number of moles 1 by 4 plus 1 by 32. That is how much it will be? So 8 plus 1, that is 9, 9 by 32. 9 by 32 is the total number of moles. Okay, is that clear? 9 by 32 is the LCM. 8 plus 1, that is 9, 9 by 32. Okay, now 4 8 is 32. Okay, 9 by 32. Now you substitute in that partial pressure of helium. Partial pressure of helium is equal to mole fraction of helium. How you are going to get? Number of moles of helium by total number of moles into total pressure. Partial pressure of helium is equal to number of moles of helium. How much we got? 1 by 4 by number of moles of total number of moles, that is 9 by 32 into how much it is? 60 torr, that is 1 by 4 into 32 by 9, it will be reciprocal, into 60. So then what happens? So 4 8s are 32. So you can take the water 3 20 is the 60, 3 3s. Okay, so then 8 into 20, that is 160. 160 by 3, that will gives you what? Partial pressure of helium. Partial pressure of helium will be what? 160 by 3. That is partial pressure of helium. Partial pressure of helium is equal to, that is 15, 3 5s 15, 1 is left over 10, 3 3s. So 1, that is 53.33 torr it is. Now partial pressure of helium we got. Then partial pressure of oxygen will be what happen? Only two components, no? So we know that total pressure is equal to partial pressure of helium plus partial pressure of oxygen. Okay. So then we know the total pressure and helium. Then you can get easily partial pressure of oxygen. No need to substitute in that formula again. That is 60, 53.3 plus partial pressure of oxygen. That is partial pressure of oxygen is equal to 60 minus 53.3. That is how much it will be? 7.7 it is. Is that clear? So 7.7 only or 6.7? 6.7 it is. 6.7 torr. Is that clear? That is the way you need to calculate the partial pressure. I think so. First question you have understood. You pause the video and you note down. So next one. Next one, that is second question. Read the second question here. What the second question they given? 400 centimeter cube of nitrogen and at 600 mm and 500 centimeter cube of oxygen gas which is collected at 300 mm are quantitatively transferred into empty vessel of 2 liter vessel. This is one empty vessel is there, which capacity is how much, which volume is 2 liter. So transformed into 2 liter capacity. Calculate the pressure of the mixture and partial pressure. So we need to calculate after entering into this what we are mixing. We are mixing nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen and oxygen gases we are sending this empty vessel whose volume is 2 liter, and we need to calculate the after mixing what is the pressure and what are the partial pressures of individual gases we need to calculate. So whenever these two are mixed, which is having pressure and volume, that is PV is equal to, what is the volume of nitrogen which we are taking? 400 cc. What is the pressure we are taking? What is the pressure we are, just V1 you consider, and pressure P1, that is 600. What is the oxygen? About oxygen here, about oxygen will be, you consider P2 pressure of oxygen will be 300. So volume is how much? 500. So we know that PV is equal to, that is P1 plus P1 V1 plus P2 V2. So from that total pressure is equal, excuse me, P1 V1 plus P2 V2 by V. That is P1 is equal to how much here? P1 is equal to, that is 600 into 400 plus P2 is how much? 300 into 500 by 2 liter. just you convert into in ml or in centimeter cube, that is 2000 centimeter cube. So 2000 centimeter cube. Now you calculate this one, you will get the, so here how many zeros? 2 zeros you take, 2 zeros common you take in both the cases. Total 4 zeros we have to take common, that is I am taking the 10,000, I am taking common, 6 into 4 plus 3 into 5 by whole by 2000. Okay, so 3 zeros get cancelled, so 2 5s, so 6 4s 24, 24 plus 15, 24 plus 15, that is 9, 39, 39 5s, 39 into 5, that is 5 9s 45, 5 3s 15 plus 4 1, 195 pressure. Okay na, so it is 195 mm. The total pressure will be 195 mm. Now what they are saying, they are asking to calculate partial pressures also. Okay na, so what is the partial pressure? How you are going to get the partial pressures here? How you are going to get the partial pressures? Now partial pressure of oxygen, partial pressure of oxygen, that is O2, it is equal to P into V, that is oxygen is taken as P2V2 by total pressure, that is total volume V is equal to P2V2 is how much? 300 into 500 by 2000. So 3 zeros get cancelled, 3 5 2 15, 5 15s are 5 15s are 25 to 5 75, 75 torr it is, 75 mm it is. So partial pressure of oxygen is 75 mm. Then what is the partial pressure of nitrogen gas? Then it is 195 minus 75, that is partial pressure of nitrogen will be, what happens, partial pressure of nitrogen is equal to total pressure minus partial pressure of oxygen. Total pressure is how much we got? 195, 195 minus 75, that is 120 mm of partial pressure of nitrogen. If you add this partial pressure of nitrogen and partial pressure of oxygen, we should get the total pressure. That is the way you need to check whether you got the correct answer or not. Is that clear? So easy one, but it is important one. Next we are going to see the third question. Once read the third question. Third question, read everyone, third question, important one, aqueous tension related problem. So you will have very few problems, but those are important, aqueous tension, where you will get the confusion. So now you see the third question. What they are saying in third question, 100 centimeter cube of gas is collected over water at 15 degrees Celsius and 750 torr. So one gas is there which is collected at 15 degrees Celsius. That is nothing but what? Its temperature is how much? 273 plus 50. Okay, now just you consider it is initial temperature, that is 288 Kelvin. T1 is 288 Kelvin. Its volume is how much? 100 centimeter cube. So and 750 torr. Now it is collected over water. Means what? Along with some quantity of water is also exerting some pressure. Then pressure of the dry gas will be, what happens? Pressure of the dry gas will be, that is 750 minus, that is 750 only, no? 750 minus aqueous tension. That is the main point you need to understand here. Why we have to take that minus F here? F is what? Aqueous tension, because which is collected over water. So whenever we are collecting over the water, some quantity of water vapor is also exerting pressure. If I want to calculate only gas pressure, then that aqueous tension should be subtracted from that moist gas pressure. So pressure of dry gas is equal to pressure of moist gas minus aqueous tension. If gas occupy 91.9 ml in dry state at STP condition, the volume occupied by gas is how much it is? 91.9 ml, okay, or else cc or ml. So you take the cc here, ml, you take, convert it to ml. 1 ml is equal to 1 cc. Just you take it as V2, and P2 will be what? It is a pressure. At STP pressure it is 1 atmosphere, which is nothing but 760 mm or 760 torr. 760 torr. and temperature will be, temperature is 273 Kelvin, 273 Kelvin, STP condition. Okay, so we know that what P1 V1 by T1 is equal to, from ideal gas equation, P2 V2 by T2, because the mixture of nitrogen and whatever the gas which we are taking, that is what ideal gas, they are taking STP condition, standard temperature and pressure. So you substitute all these, P1 is 750 minus F into V1 is how much, 100 by T1 is how much, 288 Kelvin, is equal to P2 is 760 into 91.9 by 273. You do this calculation, you are going to get the F value here. Okay na? So that is, you are going to get the F value is nearly the aqueous tension becomes 13.2 you will get. That is, aqueous tension is nothing but pressure created by the moist gas. That is 13.2 mm. That we need to subtract. Then we will get the pressure. Is that clear? That is aqueous tension. Find the aqueous tension, they are saying, no? F will be 13.2 it will be. Next we are going to see the fourth question. You pause the video and you note down. Next question number fourth one. That is fourth question. So what is the saying in the question number 4? 2 liter flask contain a mixture. It is a 2 liter flask which contains a mixture of 16 grams of oxygen, 7 grams of nitrogen and 2 grams of hydrogen at 20 degrees Celsius. Report the total pressure and partial pressures they are saying. Okay na? So in 20 liter vessel, volume is 20 liter. Okay. So total pressure they not given. We need to find at what temperature they are saying. At 20 degrees. 20 plus 273, that is 293. 293 degree Kelvin. Okay. What we have? We have the mixture of gases. What are those? Oxygen gas and the nitrogen gas, as well as we have the hydrogen gas also. So what is the number of moles of hydrogen oxygen we have? Weight is how much? 16. That is 16 by 32. That is nothing but 1 by 2. Number of moles of oxygen, nitrogen will be how much? 7 grams. That is 7 by 28. Okay. So that is 7 4s are 28. 1 by 4 it is. The number of moles of hydrogen will be how much? So 2 grams. 2 by 2. That is 1 mole. Then total number of moles will be what happens? Number of moles of oxygen plus number of moles of nitrogen plus number of moles of hydrogen. By adding all these, 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 plus 1. That is, LCM will be, how much it is? 4. And 4 is the LCM. Here 2 plus 1 plus 4. That is, how much it is? 7 by 4 it is. The total number of moles will be 7 by 4. Then you need to calculate total pressure. We know that PV is equal to nRT. So that is NT into RT, total number of moles. So from this we need to calculate the total pressure is equal to total number of moles 7 by 4 into R value, just you take 0.0821 into temperature is how much? 293 whole by volume. Volume is how much? 2 liter. So that is 2 liter. Okay. So you do this calculation, you are going to get the pressure. You are going to get the total pressure. You are going to get the total pressure. The total pressure will be, the total pressure is 21 atmosphere you are going to get. How much? 21 atmosphere you are going to get. Next. So what they are saying? They are asking to calculate total pressure as well as individual partial pressure of individual gases. That is, partial pressure of oxygen is equal to mole fraction of oxygen into total pressure. So mole fraction of oxygen, how you are getting? Number of moles of oxygen by total number of moles into total pressure. That is, number of moles of oxygen is 1 by 2 by total number of moles are 7 by 4 into total pressure is 21. That is, 1 by 2 into 7 by 4 will becomes 4 by 7 into 21. So then what happens? It is 2 times 7 threes, that is 6 atmosphere. It is 6 atmosphere. Next one, partial pressure of nitrogen, it will be partial pressure of nitrogen, that is mole fraction of nitrogen into total pressure. That is number of moles of nitrogen by total number of moles into total pressure. Number of moles of nitrogen is how much they given? 1 by 4. We got 1 by 4 by 7 by 4, no? By 7 by 4. Total number of moles into 21. That is 1 by 4 into 4 by 7 into 21. That is 4 get cancelled, 7 3 is 21. That is 3 atmosphere. The pressure created by the nitrogen is 3 atmosphere. Pressure created by the oxygen is 6 atmosphere. Then what is the pressure created by the hydrogen? That is total pressure is equal to Pn2 plus PO2 plus pH2. So then Pt is 21. P nitrogen is how much? 3. P oxygen is how much? 6 plus pH2 will be how much it is? pH2 is equal to 21 minus 9 you have to do. 21 minus 9 is how much? It is 12 atmosphere. Is that clear? Partial pressure of hydrogen. I think so you have understood the fourth question. How you are going to calculate partial pressure and how you are going to calculate total pressure you have understood. Next question number 5 we will see. Question number 5. So try to concentrate. Very important. Question number 5 also. Easy one. But you need to understand it. Okay, just for practice. So a vessel contains, question number 5. One vessel is there which contains 0.25 moles of helium. Number of moles of helium is how much? 0.25. And 0.15 mole of neon gas. Number of moles of neon will be how much? 0.15 moles. So at 298 Kelvin and 2.4 atmosphere pressure, the total pressure is how much they given? 2.4 atmosphere ATM at 298 Kelvin. So calculate the partial pressure of each gas they are saying. So how you are going to calculate partial pressure of helium? That is mole fraction of helium into total pressure. We have total pressure, we need to calculate the mole fraction. By multiplying those two, we are going to get the partial pressure of helium. That is partial pressure of helium is equal to mole fraction, that is number of moles of helium by total number of moles into total pressure. Total number of moles will be what happen? Number of moles of helium plus number of moles of neon. That is number of moles of neon is 0.25 helium, 0.15. How much it is? How much it is? 40. It is 0.40. Okay, 0.40 moles. Next here, number of moles of helium is 0.25 by 0.40 into total pressure is 2.4. So decimal get cancelled. So then what happens? 5 5s, 5 8s. So 8 3s 24. That is 0.3. So that is 1.5 atmosphere. 1.5 atmosphere. That is partial pressure of helium is 1.5 atmosphere. We know that total pressure is equal to partial pressure of helium plus partial pressure of neon. Partial pressure of total pressure will be 2.4. Partial pressure of helium is how much? 1.5 we got. Partial pressure of neon will be how much it is? Partial pressure of neon is equal to 2.4 minus 1.5. 2.4 minus 1.5, that is nothing but 1.5, that is 14 minus 5, which is nothing but 9. 0.9 atmosphere. 0.9 atmosphere. Is that clear? So that is the way you need to calculate partial pressure and total pressure, aqueous tension, how you are going to calculate the mole fraction. Those all we had seen the Dalton's law, in Dalton's law. I think so you got the complete information about Dalton's law and Graham's law in the previous video. So those who not watched till those who not subscribed till now, please do subscribe and support the channel. So more number of subscriptions and more number of likes, that will enhance me to make more number of videos. Thank you. Have a nice day. Keep watching APA Chemistry classes.